What's happening in Metro Phoenix right now, especially in the East Valley, is bigger than most people realize, and it's changing fast. This isn't a standard market update. This is more of a trends update for 2026. What's changing in how homes are being used, how technology is shaping them, how builders are designing for the desert, and how communities are evolving. Stick with me to the end because there's one bigger thing behind all of this. And once you see it, the rest of what we're talking about starts to make a lot more sense. For years, growth in Phoenix has mostly been about scale, bigger houses, more rooftops, further out. But in the East Valley, we're seeing something different. Builders, planners, and buyers are asking new questions. How does this home actually work for how I live? How does this community feel day to day? Will this place still make sense 5, 10, or 15 years from now? These questions are changing everything from how homes are designed inside to how neighborhoods and mixed-use hubs are planned outside. Once you start noticing the shift, you'll see it everywhere. Smarter homes, connected communities, walkable neighborhoods, all backed up by real economic momentum. And that's what we're diving into today. All right, let's talk about square footage versus usable space. For a long time, real estate marketing was simple. More square footage was better. Bigger numbers, bigger house, bigger win. But buyers today are asking different questions. Does this house actually work for my life? Here's the shift in one sentence. Function is winning. Buyers today are less impressed by wasted space and more interested in intentional space. A house doesn't need to be massive if every room has a purpose. And builders are clearly paying attention. The goal isn't more space, it's better space. One of my favorite examples of smarter design is what people have started calling the Costco Closet. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like, a dedicated space near the garage or kitchen designed for bulk storage. Because if you're shopping at Costco, you're probably buying paper towels in quantities meant for a frat house. That's not luxury, that's real life functional design. Another big change is what's disappearing. Formal rooms that rarely get used are quietly going away. Instead, we're seeing more flex spaces, rooms that can adapt to all life changes. A home office today, workout room tomorrow, a homework space now, guest room space later. People don't want rooms they outgrow. They want rooms that adapt. The next trend surprised me at first, but the more I thought about it, it makes a lot of sense. Minimalist rooms, also known as wellness rooms. What I'm seeing is buyers wanting at least one space in the house that's intentionally different. No TVs, no desk, no notifications, just a place to slow down things a bit. That might be a room for meditation, reading, or just sitting without being plugged in all the time. It's not about anti-technology, it's about balance. People want homes that don't just support productivity, but also mental reset. And speaking of technology, homes aren't just about space anymore. They're about connection. I mean, how well your home supports real life today. People are working from home, kids are doing homework online, meetings happen on Zoom, entertainment is streamed, not scheduled. For a lot of households, the internet is just as critical as electricity or air conditioning. That's changed what buyers care about. Strong Wi-Fi coverage throughout the whole house is no longer an option. Dead zones in bedrooms or home offices are a deal breaker for a lot of people. Builders are responding with better wiring, built-in access points, and layouts that actually support modern use instead of fighting it. We're also seeing homes designed with technology in mind, not just added as an afterthought. Central tech hubs, structured wiring, USB and USB-C outlets in the kitchens, bedrooms, and offices, and spaces that can easily shift between work, school, and everyday life. The point is flexibility. If you live in the Phoenix area, there's one thing that impacts your home more than anything else: the heat. It gets hot here, folks. I once saw a bird pulling a worm out of the ground. It was using oven mitts. The latest homes aren't just surviving the desert heat. They're built to work smarter in it. When people hear about smart technology, they often think about voice assistants or fancy apps, which are great, but it's about efficiency, comfort, and keeping energy costs under control, especially in a hot climate like Phoenix. New homes are increasingly using smart thermostats and AI-assisted HVAC systems that actually learn how you live. They adjust cooling based on times of day, usage patterns, and even outside temperatures, instead of just blasting air nonstop. In a place where AC isn't optional, this makes a real difference. And what most people don't see but absolutely feel is what's happening behind the walls. Much better insulation, tighter construction envelopes, high-efficiency windows, all designed to keep cool air in and heat out. Technology helps a ton, but a lot of the comfort and efficiency comes from how the home itself is designed and how it integrates with the technology. Solar panels and battery storage are evolving too. Before I say anything else, I have a caveat. How solar is installed and especially how it's financed does matter and can make selling a home with solar tricky. We'll cover the pros and cons and what to watch out for in another video coming soon. So now's a good time to subscribe and get notified. Anyway, if you decide to go with solar, the key isn't just to go solar. The key is to integrate with smart energy management so homes can stay efficient, save money, and reduce strain on the power grid. For buyers, this means lower cost and more comfort year-round. For sellers, homes built for desert living stand out because educated buyers notice these details. Smart desert design isn't a luxury anymore, it's becoming the expectation. But homes don't exist in isolation. The next big shift isn't about just what happens inside the walls, it's about what surrounds them. Across the valley, communities themselves are being designed differently than they were 10 years ago. One of the biggest changes I'm seeing in the Phoenix area has less to do with the house itself and more to do with what happens when you step outside the front door. For a long time, communities were pretty simple. Houses, streets, maybe a small park, and that was about it. Today, a lot of communities are being designed around how people actually want to live. Fitness centers, pickleball courts, walking trails, shared gathering spaces, even community pools and splash pads. These aren't just for luxury buyers anymore. Everyday homeowners are expecting communities that support the lifestyle they want. Communities like Eastmark and Mesa are a great example. Designed around events, shared spaces, and a real sense of neighborhood. That's the new standard. People want to interact with their community, not just drive in and out of a garage. From a real estate perspective, communities that offer a true lifestyle tend to age a lot better. They hold interest, they attract a wider range of buyers, and they feel relevant even when trends change. When communities are designed around how people live, everyone benefits, from buyers to the neighborhood as a whole. For a long time in Metro Phoenix, daily life was built around the car. Drive to work, drive to school, drive to dinner, drive back home, repeat. What we're seeing now is a shift away from that model. Mixed-use areas where housing, restaurants, coffee shops, offices, public space all exist together. Places where you can grab coffee, meet a friend, go for a walk, or run an errand without automatically reaching for your keys. Think about areas like revitalized downtown Mesa, Gilbert's Heritage District, and parts of Chandler where living, working, and social life are starting to overlap more naturally. This isn't about turning Phoenix into New York or ditching cars altogether. It's about options. People like having the choice to walk, to bike, to spend time outside without planning a whole trip around it. And there's another layer that matters. Walkable areas create interaction. Neighborhoods see each other more, kids ride bikes, people linger a little longer instead of rushing home. Communities just feel more active and more alive. From a real estate standpoint, these areas tend to stay relevant. They attract a wide range of buyers, and they support the kind of lifestyle a lot of people are actively looking for right now. So before we wrap it up, what we really need to talk about is what's underneath all of this. Because the changes we've been talking about don't happen in a vacuum. The East Valley has become a major center for tech and advanced manufacturing. Companies like Intel, TSMC are making long-term investments here, not short projects. These facilities take years to plan, years to build, and decades to operate. What follows those investments is just as important as the companies themselves. Engineers, technicians, construction firms, suppliers, and support businesses move closer to where the work is. That brings people who tend to stay longer, earn higher incomes, and plan for the long term. Arizona State University plays a role here too by supplying a steady workforce, which is one of the reasons this growth has been relatively stable compared to the boom and bust cycles Phoenix has seen in the past. When that kind of employment base exists, it affects housing in a very real way. It supports better infrastructure, more intentional community planning, and demand for homes that function well over time. That's why we're seeing these other shifts at the same time. Homes designed for how people actually live. This isn't just growth for growth's sake. It's a structural change in how this part of the valley is developing. The East Valley isn't just getting better. It's being shaped by long-term economic forces that influence how and where people choose to live. It paints a pretty clear picture. Homes are more functional. Homes are a lot smarter. Communities are designed around lifestyle, not just adding rooftops. And behind it all, real economic momentum supports it. That's why the Phoenix East Valley feels different than it did even 5 or 10 years ago. And it's not just hype. These changes shape how we live day to day and how communities grow long term. If you found this helpful, make sure you subscribed. We put out videos like this regularly. Community tours, property walkthroughs, and honest, plain talking market insights. And if you're thinking about buying or selling in the Phoenix area, or you just have questions, feel free to reach out. Even if you're not ready yet, I'm always happy to be a resource. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.